Hello students, how are you all? I hope you all good and welcome to today's online class. In this class, we are discuss about nursing foundation topic. Okay, so nursing foundation topic, unit number 3, meeting basic needs of a patient. In that, we are discussing regarding elimination need, isn't it? Our topic is elimination need, and in that the previous classes we have seen what is a laxative and suppositories and all, isn't it, for the treatment of constipation and the bowel problem, isn't it? So the same thing, only this is a different type. Okay, that is enema. Enema is a another concept. Okay, so we'll see what do you mean by enema and what are the purpose of enema and what are the classification of enema. Clear? So let's start. Enema. What do you mean by enema? Enema is an introduction of a fluid, okay, into the lower bowel through the rectum for the purpose of cleansing or introduce a medication or nourishment. It's nothing but simple. Okay, we are introducing the amount of fluid where into the lower bowel through the rectum. Why? The basic purpose is to cleansing, or we can say that to treat the constipation, or we can say to introduce the medication. And one more thing, for the diagnostic purpose. For the diagnostic purpose, we are introducing the, for example, before surgery also we are introducing the enema. Okay, this is we call enema. Clear? Okay, next we'll see what are the purposes. There are so many purposes are there. We see one by one. First one is to stimulate the defecation and to treat the constipation. Okay, to treat the constipation, we called as primary function of the enema. Okay, so example is a simple evacuant enema. So we are seeing here some of the examples here. So next one is to soften the hard fecal matter. Example is a all enema. Okay, we're confused. What is this simple evacuant? What is this all enema? These are the types. Okay, in next slides we're going to be study in detail. So first one is to stimulate the defecation and to treat the constipation, and next purpose is to soften the hard fecal matter. Example is all enema. Next one is to administer the medication. Example, sedative enema. Then to protect and soothe the mucous membrane of intestine and to check the diarrhea. Okay, next one is to destroy the intestinal parasitosis. Example is a anthelmintic enema. Usually we are giving for this children. Okay, then to relieve the gaseous distension, that we call carminative enema or antispasmodic enema, we can say. Understood, no? So next purposes we'll see to administer the fluid and nutrients. That example is a nutritive enema. Then to relieve the inflammation, that we call astringent enema. Next, to induce a peristalsis movement. Okay, once a peristalsis movement is normal, then defecation is normal. It is no peristalsis, what happened, the condition we call constipation, isn't it? So induce a peristalsis, the example is a purgative enema. Then is to stimulate a person in a shock and the collapse. In the case of shock and the collapse, we are introducing this stimulant enema. What happened now, if we introduce the enema in the lower bowel, all the blood vessels are very sensitive. So once the blood vessels are activated, we can treat the shock and collapse in some extent. Okay, this is not only that, we can't say this is a treatment, but we can do something better. Okay, that we call stimulant enema. Next is to reduce the temperature. Once the fever is there, no, one of the remedy is a cold enema. Okay, not only to because once with this cold enema, the body temperatures immediately come to down. Okay, so to reduce the temperature, we can introduce the cold enema, or we can say ice enema. Okay, next is to clean the bowels prior to the X-ray studies. Okay, prior to the whatever the X-ray studies related to the bowel or the colons, we must do this enema. Okay, so why we had to do why we had to give the enema before X-ray means all the fecal matter are there. No, we can't say the exactly what happened in the colon. So for that we had to evacuate the fecal matter from the colon. So what happened in the X-ray studies, what are the uses, you will see. Visualization of the bowel. We can see complete colons, ascending colon, transfer colon, and the descending colon. Any obstructions are there, or any tumors are there, we can visualize. Okay, then next, surgery on the bowel. Before any surgery, we must give this enema, okay, or delivery a baby. This is a very rare case. We can give enema, of course we have to give. Okay, delivery of any baby, we have to give enema to the pregnant woman, because what happened, the fecal matter are there, no, the pain is more, than sometimes the baby mix of, sometimes complication will happen. So must and stood for the normal delivery or the cesarean section, we had to give this enema, that is saline enema or simple enema, we can say. Next, to make a diagnosis, that is we can to give barium enema. Any strictures we can easily find through this barium enema. Okay, then to establish a regular bowel functions during the bowel training program. Once we have to give the, for the kid, no, we can use this regular, not for the kids. Sometimes we had to give before bowel training program, we had to give this enema. Okay, to introduce the anesthesia, for the bottom cases, are there, no, so we have give this anesthetic enema. Understood? Okay, next we have now we'll see what are the classification of enema. See, mainly the two types. What are the evacuant enema and the retained enema? Evacuant enema means what? Washing off. Okay, we have to give flushing, but to empty, that we call purpose is evacuant enema. Retained enema means what? Storage, now retained for the sometimes, that we call retained enema. Now we'll see what are the types of evacuant and what are the types of retained. Now first one is the evacuant enema. No, in the evacuant enema we have three types. What are those? Simple evacuant enema, medicated evacuant enema, and the cold enema. In the medicated evacuate enema, we have 5 types. What are those? Old enema, purgative enema, astringent enema, anti-emetic enema, and the carminative enema. And in the retained enema, again we have 5 types. Stimulant enema, nutrient enema, emollient enema, sedative enema, and the anesthetic enema. Now we'll see each one in detail. First one is, in the evacuant enema, we have first type is a simple evacuant enema, isn't it? So simple evacuant enema is nothing but is a very simple enema. Saline, normal saline we are giving. This is a basic enema. Okay. So what are the purpose? Seeing to stimulate defecation, to treat the constipation, and to relieve the gaseous distension, stimulate the peristalsis, and we can relieve the urinary retention. Okay. Then we can give stimulate a uterine contraction also, and the cleanse the enema prior to the X-ray studies. Okay, and for example, sigmoidoscopy and before the surgery. Okay, and before retention enema, before giving retention enema, we have to give this evacuant enema. Okay, next see. What are the solution we have to use? Simple is we have to use the soap and water. It's very simple. Okay, we have to use soap and water. We have to take the soap jelly. Okay, soap jelly 50 ml to the 1 liter of water. For the 1 liter of water, we have to mix up the 50 ml of soap water. Okay, or soap jelly. Then we can say the normal saline also. Okay, that is sodium chloride. 1 tablespoon means what? Salt. 1 tablespoon of the off liter of water. Off liter of water, we had to take 1 tablespoon of sodium chloride. Otherwise, we give with a simple tap water you can use for the simple evacuant enema. Understood? Soap water, either normal saline or the tap water. Then we had to see for the adults, for the children, and for the infant is a different amount. We can't introduce the same amount. Okay, depending upon the stages, we had to give a different quantities of the solution. For the adults, we had to give to the off liter to 1 liter of solution. For the children, we had to give 250 to 500 ml of solution, and for the infants, we have to give 250 to or less we can use. Understood? And the temperature is very much important. We should not give any, always it should be warm, is very good for evacuation. Okay, so the water temperature should be 105 to 110 degree Fahrenheit for the adults and 100 degree Fahrenheit for the children. Okay. Next, we'll see what is all enema. It's very simple. Okay, these are given to the soft and the fecal matter in case of a severe constipation. Sometimes what happen, rupture will happen. If it is, the stool is very hard, no, rupture will happen. To soothe the fecal matter, we have to give this all enema. Okay, and also before when we'll see before operation also we can see, before the first bowel movement, after the operation means before surgery and after surgery also we had to give this all enema. Okay, it should be retained for, we'll see how many times we can how many hour the all enema retained in the bowel. We can say half an hour to 1 hour. Okay, half an hour to 1 hour to tell the patient to rest after the oil enema. Why? Because it will take the time to soften the stool, no? So it will take half an hour to 1 hour. But simple vacant enema is not like that. Simple vacant enema, it will take around 10 to 15 minutes maximum time it will take, and to completely bowel wash happen. But for this oil enema, it will take half an hour to 1 hour. Okay, then it should be then followed by a soap and water enema. Once the fecal is softened, once the oil enema is given, no, then we had to give the simple evacuant enema to wash in the bowel. Clear? Okay, see what are the oils we can use? We can use alveol, we can use gingerly oil or sweet oil we can use, or we had to take a mixture of the castor oil and the alveol. 1:2 ratio means 1 ml of castor oil or 2 ml of alveol. Understood now? But 1 ml, 2 ml is not at all enough. If we'll take 10 ml of castor oil and 20 ml of alveol, we had to take. Okay, the amount of solution to be how much? 100 to 150 we can say, otherwise 115 to 175 ml we have to administer. Less than this, no action will happen. Clear? More than this also is danger. Okay, we have to maintain between the 115 to 175 ml. Then the temperature of the solution should be 100 degree Fahrenheit. A warm oil then we have to introduce. Next one is a purgative enema. These are given to cause the bowel construct actively. So keep it in mind that oil enema to be soften the fecal matter. But this purgative enema, why we had to give? To maintain the contraction of the bowel. Okay, contraction. When the bowel is contraction, then the defecation will happen. Without contraction, no defecation. Clear? So what is the main function of this purgative enema? To contract the bowel, then the movement will happen. Clear? So it acts by the irritating effect. So purgative means what? Irritating. Is going to be irritate the mucous membrane of the bowel, then to stimulate the peristalsis, then causes the evacuation enema. Clear? First action is to irritate the mucus of the bowel, that stimulate the peristaltic movement. Automatically we can evacuate the fecal matter. Clear? Then the stretching of the intestine due to this flow of the fluid causes the intestine to contract and leads to the evacuation of bowel. Understood? Okay. Then we'll see what are the solution. We can use the pure glycerin. Okay, that is 15 to 30 ml we have to use. Then the glycerin and water, we have to take the 1:2 ratio means if we are taken 10 ml of glycerin, 20 ml of water we have to take. And we can take the glycerin and the castor oil combination also we can use. Okay, otherwise we can take the magnesium sulfate. Now we can take a 60 to 120 ml of a sufficient amount of water. We can take this magnesium sulfate also. And then we can use a mixture of magnesium sulfate, glycerin and water in the ratio of 30 ml, 60 ml and 90 ml. Okay, then the same like the oil now Fahrenheit 100 degrees Celsius only we have to maintain the glycerin temperature. Okay. Next one is a anti-elementic enema. Anti-elementic means worm. No, worm. We call, what is that? Anti-elementic. Anti-elements we call worm, isn't it? So it is given to destroy and expel the worms from the intestine. For the kids we are using this. Some adults also. Okay. Why? To destroy and expel the worms, we have given this anti-elementic enema. So before the treatment is given, the bowel should be cleansed by the soap water enema. First we had to give the simple evacuant enema. Then after the simple evacuant enema, we have to give this anti-elementic enema. Otherwise, if you are introducing this anti-emetic enema, the action is less. But once you are cleansing the enema, okay, first we had to clear the intestine with a simple evacuant enema, then you had to introduce this anti-emetic enema. Then what happened, this anti-emetic enema, it is directly contact with this worm, then it is easy to destroy directly. Clear? And the treatment is given until the worms are destroyed. Till the worms are destroyed, we can continue this anti-emetic enema. Clear? Then what are the solutions? Is a fusion of quassia. Quassia is nothing but some we can say, is like a leaves. Okay, the tree name is quassia, the plant name is quassia. We had to take this quassia leaves. This is available in the stores. Okay, so we had to take this quassia. There's a 15 grams of chips in the 600 ml of water. Then we had to give the enema. Okay, next one is hypertonic saline solution. Hypertonic means was more concentrated salt solution. Clear? Means 60 ml of salt water with a 600 ml of water. Okay, then how much we had to give anti-emetic enema? 250 ml. See, this is the chips we can see. Okay, some leaves also we use, some in the trunk, no, in the trunk of a tree we can take the chips also. Combination of that way we call quasi chips. Next we'll see carminative enema or antispasmodic enema. Spasmodic means what? The painful, no, spasmodic. But antispasmodic we are giving, that is we call carminative enema. So these are given to relieve the gaseous distension and abdomen by causing the peristalsis and expulsion of the flatus and feces. Clear? To relieve the gaseous distension. Okay, abdominal distension will happen now because of the accumulation of the gas. In that condition, we had to give this antispasmodic enema. Okay, it's very simple. Like, we had to introduce as a simple evacuant enema. Very simple, but the solution is different. Here we had to give turpentine. Okay, turpentine we had to give 16 ml, 8 to 16 ml of turpentine, which is going to be mixed thoroughly with a 600 to more than 1 liter of water of a soap solution. Okay, with that we had to mix this turpentine enema. For the simple evacuant enema, soap water, no, we had to mix it with the turpentine of 8 to 16 ml. Clear? Otherwise we had to give the milk and molasses. This means granular sugar. Simple is a granular sugars we can give. Okay, 90 to 220 ml of molasses well mixed with the equally quality of a warm milk. Okay, warm milk we have to introduce. This we call antispasmodic enema. Next one is astringent enema. What do you mean astringent enema? It contracts the tissues and blood vessels, checks the bleeding and inflammation, lessens the amount of the mucus discharge and gives a temporary relief in the inflamed area. Okay, usually we are given in the colitis and dysentery. In the colitis, what happened? No, in the border of the intestine, the mucous membrane are there, right? So in there, the rupturing of the blood vessels were. Why? Because of a hard constipation. Once it is ruptured, then we have to give this astringent enema. What it will do? It is constrict the, check the bleedings, and it will give some soothing effect to the intestine. Okay. And they are usually given in the form of the rectal and colonic irrigation. Just we give irrigation. Okay, the solution is allowed to be run in slowly and rectal quickly to avoid the distension, pain and irritation of the inflamed wall. So in this condition, we had to give, what is this? Astringent enema. Clear? Okay, then we'll see cold enema. As we all know, when in which condition we had to give? In the condition of hyperthermia, isn't it? Is given to decrease the body temperature in hyperpyrexia and heat stroke. It is given in the form of colonic irrigation. Okay, but if we are given, better see, well, during this enema, we have to check in between vital signs. Continuously, we have to monitor the vital signs. There, what happened? Suddenly, body come to the suddenly it comes down. Is also very dangerous, isn't it? We have to record the normal temperature. It will come like a normal, but to stop this cold enema. Understood? What are the complications? Hypothermia and abdominal cramps. Clear? But it is useful in the reducing of temperature. Clear? This we call cold enema. Okay, next we'll see retained enema. Okay, retained enema. Now we have seen what are the evacuant enema, and I will see what are the retained enema. Inner retain enema. First one is a stimulant enema. So as a word is going to be described itself, what is it? It's going to be stimulate. Stimulate what? Stimulate the blood vessels, isn't it? In the treatment of the shock and the collapse. Okay, it is also sometimes given in the case of poisoning also. Okay, example is a coffee enema is given in the case of opium poisoning. In the case of opium poisoning, we had to introduce this coffee enema. Clear? So we can solution, we can say the black coffee enema and the brandy enema, and no, how much we have to give? 1 tablespoon of with a 300 ml of water. Brandy we had introduced in the 15 ml of brandy added to the 120 to 180 ml of glucose saline. And what, how much amount? Same like 180 to 250 ml we had introduced, but same like we had to maintain more than, more than 90 degree Fahrenheit, like 108 to 110 degree Fahrenheit we had to maintain the solution of stimulant enema. Clear? Okay. Next one is sedative. Sedative means what? Sleeping, no. So sedative, why we had to give this? It retention enema containing the sedative drug. Okay, the solution would contain sedative drug. Why? To induce the sleep. What are the drugs we have to use here? Paraldehyde and chlorhydride or chloral hydrate we can say, and the potassium bromide. Okay, these are the drugs is going to be induce sleep. So this drug we had to take and mix with the water, then we have to give sedative enema. But one more thing, we can't give without instruction. They have to prescribe by the doctor. How much dose depending upon the case, depending upon the patient. Clear? Next was the emollient. Emollient enema. What do you mean emollient enema? We are using the Vaseline and all now, right, for the nourishment. For the same thing only to soothing effect we are using this emollient enema. Okay, that's an introduction of the bland solution into the rectum for the purpose of checking the diarrhea, and very important purpose is a soothing and relieving the irritation on the inflamed mucous membrane. Okay, here we are using the starch. Okay, and the starch mucilage also we can use alone. Okay, same like, okay, take down all the notes is important. Okay, sometimes we can use the rice water also, same like previous enema only. Approx amount is always same only, 120 to 180 ml, till 250 ml we can introduce. Okay, temperature same, 100 to 105, 105 degree Fahrenheit. Clear? This we call emollient enema. Next we'll see anesthetic enema. As the word says, we are giving anesthesia for the bottom cases. Okay, bottom surgeries are there, no, hemorrhoids, fistula and all. Sometimes we have to give this anesthetic enema. Along with that anesthesia, we are giving this anesthetic enema. Clear? It is retention enema containing an anesthetic drugs to produce anesthesia in the patient. Okay, example is averting. Averting is one of the anesthetic drug name. Okay, 150 to 300 mg per kg of body weight. Okay, per kg of body weight we are giving 150 to 300 mg. Clear? Okay, next one is a nutrient enema. Same nourishing purpose, isn't it? It is a retention enema to supply the food fluid to the body. Okay, to give the nutrition to the body, we are giving this nutrient enema. Okay, selection of the fluid is depends upon the ability of the colon to absorb. Okay, depending upon the ability of the colon absorbed, we had to select the fluid, which kind of nutrition the patient is needed. Clear? Nutrient enema is a particularly useful in the condition like hemophilia, okay, which makes IV infusions difficult or undesirable. In a hemophilia cases, the blood is not at all stop, bleeding disorder we can say. So in that condition usually we are, because all the blood is going to be lost, isn't it? The body doesn't have any nutrition. In that condition we have to give this nutrient enema. Okay, the solution is a normal saline. We can give a glucose 2 to 5%, and the peptonized milk. Sorry, okay, peptonized milk 120 ml we can give. Okay, then what is the amount? 1 liter to 1.5 liter we can say, or 110 ml to 170 ml in a 24 hours, and 120 to 270 ml at 4 hourly interval. So first we had to introduce in 1 hour, no, we had to give this 1 liter to 1.5 liter we had to give. After that, for every 4 hourly we had to give 180 to 270 ml of this nutrient enema. Okay, what is temperature? Same like 100 degree Fahrenheit. Clear? Okay, then procedure. Next class we'll see procedure. I hope you understood this class, and please, I am telling you again, each and every student have to be respond. Okay, Okay, see you next class. Take care.